Welcome to KYC Media News. We bring you the greatest and most up-to-date news of the day, and we invite you to stay tuned. China launches dozens of warplanes in Taiwan. The world's most dangerous human rights violator. China launches dozens of warplanes in Taiwan. All out of 29 Chinese warplanes entered Taiwan's self-pronounced air protection distinguishing proof zone (ADIZ) on Tuesday, as indicated by the island's defense ministry. The defense ministry said the People's Liberation Army (PLA) Air Force planes were a blend of warrior jets, early admonition and control airplane, electronic fighting airplane, hostile to submarine airplane, electronic inside airplane, and flying refueling airplane. It was the third most noteworthy day-to-day number of Chinese planes entering Taiwan's ADIZ starting from the beginning of the year and comes under a month after China sent 30 warplanes on a comparable mission. Accordingly, the Taiwanese military mixed battle airplane to caution the Chinese planes away, gave radio alerts and sent air protection rocket frameworks to screen the exercises, the defense ministry added. Taiwan and Central Area China have been represented independently since the crushed nationalists withdrew to the island toward the finish of the Chinese nationwide conflict over a long time back. Yet, China's decision Chinese Communist Party, CCP, sees one self-managed island as a feature of its domain, notwithstanding having never controlled it. Beijing has not precluded military power to take Taiwan and has kept strain on the popularity-based island throughout the course of recent years with continuous warplane trips into the island's ADIZ. An ADIZ is singularly forced and unmistakable from sovereign airspace, which is characterized under worldwide regulation as broadening 12 nautical miles from a domain's coastline. The U.S. Federal Aviation Administration characterizes it as an assigned area of airspace over land or water inside which a nation requires the quick and positive recognizable proof area and airport regulation of airplane in light of a legitimate concern for the country's public safety. Monkeypox was discovered in a British flight attendant. Singapore has recorded its most memorable late instance of monkeypox in a British airline steward who entered the nation last week. Experts on Tuesday uncovered the case, saying the 42-year elderly person had flown all through the city-state in mid-June. It denotes the principal recorded instance of monkeypox in Southeast Asia connected to a new worldwide episode. In excess of 2,100 cases have been recognized in 42 nations since May. As per the World Health Organization, more than 80% of cases have been tracked down in Europe. However, the illness has additionally spread to North America, South America, and Australia. The WHO has kept one demise in this episode. The illness commonly happens in remote pieces of focal and West African nations. However, there have been curiously large quantities of individuals contaminated with monkeypox beyond Africa this year, with no movement connects to the district. In Singapore, well-being authorities there said the man was in a steady condition subsequent to testing positive for the sickness on Monday and had been taken into a seclusion ward. 13 of his nearby contacts have likewise been placed in isolation. They were his team and carrier partners, a few news sources detailed. South Korean experts on Tuesday likewise affirmed their most memorable associated cases with the infection. Monkeypox is brought about by the monkeypox infection, an individual from a similar group of infections as smallpox, despite the fact that it is substantially less extreme. Side effects of monkeypox incorporate a rash, what begins the face and spreads to the body. In support of Modi's India. The popularity-based world is separated. Pretty much guilefully hid, conflicts on the destiny of Ukraine arise among NATO individuals practically week after week, and in Asia and the Pacific, vote-based systems are ostensibly keeping intact. While all at last appreciate and are ready to counter the danger to harmony presented by a recently combative China, practically speaking, tact between them is still, to a limited extent, a circulating of many years or very long-term complaints. Particularly with regards to India. India and the public authority of Narendra Modi stay an obscure amount, looked at dubiously from Europe. Indeed, even with the country now an individual from the Quad, a gathering including the United States, Australia and Japan, intended to adjust Indo-Pacific majority rules systems against Beijing and the European Commission laying out a joint European Union-Indian Trade and Technology Council in late April, understanding doesn't necessarily in all cases rule. To hear a few European functionaries tell it, one would think India was on similar level as China with regards to helping Russia's administration of its freshly discovered outsider status. Yet, regardless of clashing dreams, this basically isn't true. It neglects the significance of building nearer ties, regardless of whether troublesome. During her excursion to New Delhi in April, Commission President Ursula von der Leyen hopefully announced EU-Indian collaboration on efficient power energy could demonstrate crucial for Europe's getaway from the bad habit of Russian oil and gas. In the meantime, India's Foreign Minister Subramaniam Jaishankar basically said that he and von der Leyen traded seas on the monetary and political ramifications of the Ukraine struggle. The world's most dangerous human rights violator. Pakistan became quite possibly of the most perilous common liberty victimizers on the planet during the standard of Imran Khan, a nearby media revealed. After General Pervez Musharraf, Imran Khan was one of the famous basic freedoms victimizers who attempted to smother the media house, common liberties gatherings, and online entertainment activists with the assistance of Pakistan, Just Earth News revealed. As indicated by the distribution, the killing of dissenters, the intimidating of writers, and an attack on the ability to speak freely became typical during his system. The Human Rights Commission of Pakistan, in its Status of Human Rights Report 2021, delivered early this year, had expressed that the privileges to opportunity of articulation experienced the most in that year. A rundown of these controls peruses more like a tyrannical system set on usurping its kins on the whole correct to talk and go about however they see fit, report peruses. The report completely marked the past Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf (PTI) government as one of the most oppressive regarding its terrorizing of writers. Featuring something like 9 instances of terrorizing of writers, the report forewarned, on the off chance that an administration can't safeguard opportunity of articulation, rather attempts to control it, it has an immediate bearing on any remaining privileges. Gun control reform in the United States. The U.S. has made a stride towards its first significant weapon control regulation in quite a while, excited by 2 mass shooting occasions in a country that has long battled to check constant gun savagery. Representatives on Tuesday night neighborhood time casted a ballot to speed section of a bipartisan bundle of measures to harden government weapon regulations. The Senate is supposed to decide on the 80-page charge this week prior to a 14-day break. The bill disclosed on Tuesday doesn't go similar to Democrats, including President Joe Biden, had looked for. In any case, whenever passed, it would be the main activity to battle weapon savagery to rise up out of Congress in years. The regulation incorporates arrangements that would assist states with keeping guns out of the hands of those considered to be a threat to themselves or others, and close the supposed sweetheart escape clause by hindering firearm deals to those sentenced for mishandling cozy accomplices to whom they are not hitched. After mass shootings at a New York supermarket and a Texas elementary school, specialists said were committed by young people, the regulation would permit states to give adolescent records to the Public Personal Investigation Framework for weapon buys. Ukraine launches an offensive to retake Snake Island. Ukrainian powers have sent off a significant evening time activity to retake Snake Island, the notable Black Sea station seized by Russia in the initial days of the conflict. The Ukrainian army said on Tuesday, Wednesday AEST, that it had sent off airstrikes on the minuscule island, otherwise called Zminy Island. The Southern Operational Command of the Ukrainian Army said it had utilized pointed hits with the utilization of different powers on the island. It said the tactical activity was still ongoing and that data quiet was expected for the rest of the activity, it added. Snake Island was the location of one of the primary attacks of the conflict in Ukraine after it started on February 24. During the initial days of the conflict, it was the site of an interest from a Russian warship to Ukrainian protectors to give up. They answered, notoriously, with Russian warship, "Go F.K. yourself," an expression that became a theme of Ukrainian opposition. Russia asserted it repulsed the most recent Ukrainian attack on the decisively significant island. On June 20 at 5 a.m., the Kiev system embraced one more frantic endeavor to claim Snake Island, Russia's protection service said in a preparation. It said Ukrainian assault and surveillance drones were essential for the airstrike while rocket launchers and big guns discharged at the island. Russia guaranteed it shot own 13 robots. In the interim, the UK Ministry of Defence affirmed Ukrainian cases that its military had obliterated a Russian resupply transport close to Snake Island.